main topic of this episode.
Oh my gosh, who wants to start off? This is so exciting. First of all, we should mention that, full disclosure, it's already mid-February, almost towards the end of February.
And nothing has come out yet, so we're good.
Wait, what?
It's been an incredibly slow start to the year, I feel like, from a games release perspective.
Yeah, I do notice a lot of the games number of games I was following got delayed.
Well, do we already make this joke that a lot of these games we're going to say we're looking forward to in 2020 may not come out in 2020 at all, so.
Don't say that, knock on wood.
How do you guys want to do it, by the way? Do you just want each person to list off all of their, or do we go through like any
Let's do what we did for the top list. Let's do, Tortuga, what's your number? We're just going to do 3 each, right? So let's just do Tortuga, your number 3, then we'll do Jean's number 3, then my number 3, and we'll kind of circle around.
Oof. Well, let me go last then, because I haven't arranged them numerically like that. I just have I have taken some notes, but I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games.
You're going to change it on the fly.
And I need some time to pick which one's 3, 2, and 1.
Okay. I will also say that my list is not organized in any particular order other than to say I have 3 games that I want to talk about that I'm excited about, but I'm not sure, I don't have some sort of formula to say like this game is number 3 versus number 2 versus number 1,
Yeah, I actually cemented my list. I was thinking of editing it, but I'm like, fuck it. I like it. I'm sticking with what I like, So I guess since, do you guys want me to go first and then Matt and then fine. Tortuga?
But also, let's keep this short because I think part of the fun is going to be talking about a lot more than just 3 games. So if we have like this, period at the end where we can just kind of gush about all the other ones, that would be great.
Sure.
I will begin my list. Drumroll, please. Panzer Corps 2. This is my third favorite of 2020, or most anticipated. I got a chance to play I would say the beta that they have. If you, I believe, purchase the game early or purchase a certain version of the game, you get access to the beta. So I played it. I really like it. In fact, I'll go as far as I love the game, okay? There's really amazing stuff about the game. I really love the developers' attention to detail about like adding so many different units, like Grenadiers. They have like all these different tank units, infantry units, and it feels very non-generic, like I thought I don't know why I thought this, but I thought I was going to go to Panzer Corps and, they're going to have armored unit and then they'll have an artillery unit, an infantry unit. No, they have armored units, but they have a shit ton of them and you can customize each one to kind of fit your strategy, which I really do like.
Did you play the original Panzer General by SSI?
From the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but my memory is as good as my eyesight, so
I mean, you could have 20/20 vision for all I know, Jean. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I was gonna say I would say like the list of what units are involved are pretty much the same. Maybe there's a little bit more, but I've played the Panzer Corps 2 beta as well. I've enjoyed it. I think it's well done. I do think some of the Russian scenarios get too big and too unwieldy for it really to be an enjoyable gaming experience. I think the early Western European and sort of the Poland invasion, like the smaller operations early on, are very well done. I think my experience with the first couple of battles in the North African campaign is that they're pretty well done. But I think as the game scales up and gets really, really big, I do think it struggles to make it feel unique, and I think some of the scenarios just feel a little too samey. But overall, I've been pretty impressed. I'm excited about it. It's not on my list, but that's definitely a good start to your list.
Let me ask you something, because I know you have a beefy graphics card, and I have a mid-range graphics card. I have an AMD 560 with 4 gigs of video RAM, and it's about a mid-range. I know you have NVIDIA GeForce 2080. Basically the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the 1970s.
I have a 1080, not a 20. I mean, 1080 is still a good card even today. I don't think
so. Basically, Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 90s.
Graphics card matters. Like they look nice, but I don't think your graphics card matters. Yeah, if you're looking for games where the graphics card matters, it's not war games typically.
But that's the funny thing, because when I was playing Panzer Corps 2, I did notice that if you're playing the game, and especially on a big map, I only noticed this on big maps, is my frame rate drops around 30 or even goes in the teens. And what's kind of curious is because we all know, we all have played Hearts of Iron and EU4, and the graphics on there are kind of demanding, or even Imperator, the map and all the units and everything looks beautiful and requires some graphics power. My graphics card can do EU4, Hearts of Iron very well. I'm in the 30s, 40s, or 50s of the frame rate. But for Panzer Corps 2, I'm going down to the teens. And I notice it kind of hiccups every so often. And I only have this problem whenever a game is designed with the Unity engine. I don't know if the engine requires a lot of horsepower from the graphics card.
I don't think it's graphics card related.
I don't think it's
Yeah, it's probably the processor bottleneck.
Well, I have a i5 7th generation Intel processor, 3 gigahertz, and quad core, and generally the benchmarks on that are really high. I mean, I forgot. I think this one was at 16 or 18,000 on Geekbench 4. So I mean, it has a muscle on it, And a good example is I'm playing EU4 toward the end of the game. And I know in the end of the game of EU4, all the processing power is needed because of all those units and all those countries and all that shit. My CPU is able to handle that pretty well, so that's why I was thinking it was a graphics issue.
I mean, I don't know. May or may not be. What I would say is that keep in mind EU4 has been out for how many years, and Panzer Corps isn't even out yet, and you're playing a pre-release beta that hasn't even been released. I'm sure there's still plenty of optimization and things like that they're working on and polishing. So I wouldn't get too hung up on the frame rates. I saw the same thing. It got a little. I didn't look at the actual frame rates, but I could feel it getting a little bit choppy at points. But again, it's a pre-release beta that's almost a month away from release from when we're recording this. So I wouldn't really get too hung up on performance at that point.
Yeah, it was definitely the beta. So I just wanted to ask if you guys experienced that. So I'm hoping that that's taken care of by release.
But anyway, I guess I will go just so we don't spend 10 minutes on every one of our. We'll have a very long episode. My number 3 on my list, I was kind of debating going back and forth as we were kind of talking. And I guess I'll put this at number 3. I'm guessing someone else may have this on their list. But I'm going to go with Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, which is a upcoming game by the folks over at Game Labs who made Ultimate General Gettysburg and Civil War. And it is basically 3D Rule the Waves is kind of the best way to describe it, where you are able to build your own ships and then sail them and fight them in the sort of late pre-Dreadnought era up to the sort of just before World War II era. So really the pinnacle era for big gun battleships, whether they're the pre-Dreadnoughts with 4 main guns or they're the super Dreadnoughts of the Queen Elizabeth class. 1890 to 1930 is the era my understanding the game's going to cover. The game is available currently if you buy it directly through Game Labs in early access. They have, I don't know how many scenarios they're up to. It's 35 or something, maybe more than that. That you can play, but they're all just considered like the Battle Academy, which is basically they'll give you criteria to design a ship. You do that, and then you have to fight it. I think the thing that I'm really anticipating, and I'm assuming are probably several months away from this coming out, but the thing I'm really anticipating is the campaign, because it's supposed to be a similar campaign to Rule the Waves, where you take over the reins as basically a naval secretary or first sea lord or whatever of one of the great powers in this time period, and then you're responsible for building the Navy, maintaining the Navy, upgrading ships, all of that stuff. And then if your country goes to war, then you have to fight those wars. And so that's the piece that I'm really excited about. We haven't seen that really yet. I think they accidentally opened up the campaign when the early access first came out. But really,
I've played it.
Well, you suck. But the campaign is really what I'm excited about, and I'm assuming the game will probably not exit early access till late this year. But that's definitely on my list.
So this is not the game that I noticed Game Lab's publishing like a countdown on my Twitter feeds, like 5, and then the next day 4, and then 3. So I'm assuming it's not this game that they're counting down.
I haven't seen that from them. No, I'm not. But I'm not following that either, so I don't know.
Okay. The ship designer I see on Steam looks really nice. It looks really beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's very well put together. It's like, almost like building a Lego set for your ship.
Yeah, it won't be that. I mean, they have walked back on one of their earlier ideas to actually allow you to literally Lego design each part, each segment of the ship.
Yeah, some of the stuff shows it like you're putting together the hull, and the hull forms are kind of predefined, but that's fine. I don't need to design my hull.
Yeah, I mean, some people were disappointed by that. I'm just going to put mine at number 3 as well. I also have Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought on my list, and it was a little bit weird for me to put it on because, yeah, we are already playing it. The early access was available in 2019. Early access has kind of blurred the excitement of releases. Like, it doesn't... I'm not, like, super excited about Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought now because I already kind of played it, and I have played the campaign. By the way, I played it... This was before it was supposed to be played, obviously. Somebody just found out the code that you need to, like, type on your keyboard to access it, and the game crashed immediately.
Oh, shit.
But I did see it, and I saw the research screen and all this, and I'm sure it's going to change. Nobody else will ever see those kind of screens because I'm sure it'll be much more polished by the time it's released. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that as well. I mean, I love Rule of Waves. It's like one of the biggest things I do is rule the waves. So obviously Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts would have to be something I'd be paying attention to, and I am, and I'm hopeful. I actually returned to play it like a month ago, and they're having some issues balancing out gun damage and all that. I just wish the team the best of luck to get it all working, and hopefully all the battle stuff, which they are prioritizing right now, will not delay the campaign release by too much. So that's my number 3.
That was a quick 3, so I guess it goes back to me.
Yeah, thank you for THG for doing such a great job summarizing the game. It was perfect.
So I guess that brings us back to me on number 2.